Hello everyone and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 commentary with X. So this is going to be game number 2 from a best of 3 series between EG.IdrA spawning as the green Zerg at the 2 o'clock position, facing ROOT.Minigun spawning as the light blue Protoss at the 7 o'clock position. This is going to be a match, this entire series is from the Justin TV invitational quarterfinals. So like I said in the last game, at the end I should have said that at the game. I didn't mention that because so you guys know where these games are from. They're not Battle.net or anything, so just gonna state that for the start of the match. So I'm gonna be talking a little bit about the first game, and obviously that is going to mean some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the previous game, then do go watch that. So we've seen a pretty convincing win over there from IdrA, opening with a spawning pool first, followed by a hatchery, with that very convincing 7 roach rush. And well, there was actually more than 7, but he started with 7 and then followed up with additional roaches. He just went for the wall off that Minigun had planted down. It was really good reaction from IdrA. I've seen him do this in a number of games where he's facing Protoss players, and the Protoss players decide to wall off like that and go for a fast expand strategy. Doesn't really matter on which map. IdrA did attempt to bust like that with roaches in many games. I've seen him do that. So that's maybe something for you guys to pick up and try to incorporate into your builds if you see anything like that on ladder or wherever you might be playing. So yeah, this time we're gonna have a game on Xel'Naga Caverns. Looks like Minigun has planted his gateway down here, pretty early gateway. I think that was 13 gate or something like that. And IdrA again not opening with a spawning pool with a hatch first. He's opening with a spawning pool into gas. Obviously, Xel'Naga Caverns is not one of those maps that you really want to open with hatch first, especially against Protoss, because, well, you know, this expansion is really hard to hold on to. And looks like Minigun is gonna try, and he is succeeding. He's blocking IdrA's drone from planting down this hatchery over here. Meantime, looks like IdrA has been saving some money. There we go. He's getting the queen right now, not attempting to lay down any additional hatchery. He knows that Minigun is probably going to attempt planting a pylon over here, so he's just getting some Zerglings right now. I'm gonna send these Zerglings most likely down here to take care of the probe that is currently blocking the expansion. And let's see, will a pylon be planted over here? Not exactly sure, no, but IdrA does manage to actually get this down without even killing the probe. So the hatchery has been laid down. It is a little bit delayed though. It is a 20 hatch. Could have laid down a little bit earlier, but it's no problem really. He has the queen, and he's probably going to get another queen after this as soon as he gets the money for it. But no, he's getting the speed first. There we go. He started the speed right now. Let's see if he's going to be getting a queen once he reaches 150 minerals. Meantime, looks like Minigun is chrono boosting his warp gate research. Has 1 warp gate right now, probably going to be laying down some additional warp gates. We'll just have to wait and see what kind of build he wants to go for. Maybe 2 gate robo or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Now we're just gonna have to wait and see how Minigun is going to transition from this very standard opening. It's really the only opening that Protoss has except a forge opening. So really, this is what you always see as Zerg. But it's what you always see as a player. When you scout the entrance of a Protoss, you're probably always going to see a cybernetic score and a gateway, unless there's a forge down as well. Now, looks like he has been going for double gas. He's laying down additional gateways. That's 3 gateways. Let's see if he's going to expand off of this. So let's see if this build is the 3-gate expand, or if he's going to go for a 4th warp gate and try for a very aggressive. Looks like a 4th warp gate indeed. A 4th gateway has been laid down, so this is going to be a 4-gate push right now for Minigun. He has 2 sentries. He's getting more, and soon enough, let's see, is there any probe close to IdrA's base? I don't think so. And you'll probably want to send one anyway, because obviously if you want to play with 4 warp gate pushes like this, then you have to obviously lay down a proxy pylon so you can help reinforce your army. But it doesn't look like Minigun is trying anything yet. And meantime, IdrA is really droning up. Let's take a look at the harvester count. 26, 20, 30. There we go. 30 drones to 27 probes. So IdrA is droning up pretty hard. Not really getting any sort of attacking, and it's just a few Zerglings with which he's moving around, scouting, seeing what Minigun is doing. Looks like IdrA is going to go for a very fast melee attack, level 1 over here. An interesting play from IdrA. I haven't really seen this from him. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. But Minigun is probably going to try a very aggressive push anytime soon, because, well, he has a lot of sentries. He has expanded though, so this is a really Really weird build from Minigun, getting 4 warp gates and also expanding and not attacking. This is not something you see from a typical Protoss player. I mean, once you get... 3-gate expand is okay, but 4-gate expand is a little bit off, I think, because you can't really sustain 4 warp gates off one base. It doesn't really work, but I guess he's also factoring in that, you know, sometimes you can be a little bit late on warping in those units, in which case you do have the money to sustain it. But obviously, you shouldn't be counting on that. You should be really precise on your timing and stuff like that. And as soon as the warp gates are off cooldown, then you should be warping in additional units. But looks like Minigun is indeed going to move across right now. It has a lot of sentries, one Zealot only, but a lot of stalkers. So probably going to see a proxy pylon being laid down somewhere over here. More stalkers joining the fight right now. This is a lot of units. Looks like, oh, very interesting. Right now, just caught this. He did cancel. Very nice tricking of EG.IdrA over there. He canceled that. We saw that in the game with MC, if you remember that, if you're watching GSL. But anyway, looks like Minigun is going to be laying some force fields down here, blocking a lot of those Zerglings from attacking. Those are good force fields. These Zerglings getting blocked off on the other side completely and surrounding himself with force fields. But those queens are doing quite significant damage on these stalkers. Looks like one queen did go down though. The Zerglings not being able to reinforce. The ramp has been blocked off as well. Looks like Minigun did do quite a lot of damage, took down a lot of units over here, took down a queen as well, but EG.IdrA is reinforcing right now with additional Zerglings, only Zerglings, and warping in some Balings as well. Very interesting play from EG.IdrA, getting Balings in a ZVP matchup. So let's see if Minigun is going to be able to break this right now. There are no sunken crawlers whatsoever, and EG.IdrA obviously didn't have time to prepare and defend this. He saw that Nexus, but the Nexus was cancelled, so he had no idea that this 4-gate push was incoming. Gotta be careful with those Balings. Those Balings are exploding. These sentries are almost dead, but the Zerglings is going down so fast, the Zealots and the Stalkers, and obviously with the help of the force fields, having no issue taking down those Zerglings. Some more Balings exploding over here, trying to do as much damage as they can, but there's just so many units from Minigun, and Minigun keeps on warping in units, as we can see. More units joining the fight, and EG.IdrA really doesn't have the units to hold this attack off. He's pulling drones off the line. No GG from EG.IdrA. This is very surprising. Well, obviously not really surprising since it's EG.IdrA, but I don't really see if there's any reason for him to to be angry about this game, because he simply got outclassed. And what I said before, by the way, just want to make a short parenthesis over here and talk about that OGSMC match. If you remember in the finals with July, when MC seemed like he was going for an expand, and July did scout it out. And at the last minute, MC cancels the Nexus and goes for a straight-up 4-gate push. And it pretty much messed with everything that July had, because as a Zerg, you're very adaptive. You rely on scouting. You have to know when to drone. You have to know when to get on an army. So it's very strong. These kind of tactics are very strong when playing against Zerg, because if you can mislead a Zerg into thinking that, you know, yeah, hey, he's going for an expand, but then all of a sudden he is actually, that's a vulnerability of Zerg. If you catch him basically unprepared with a warp gate push like this, the Zerg is probably going to lose, because there's nothing he can do without having enough units or spine crawlers being laid down. There is very little a Zerg can do. So very great speculating of this strategy over here from Minigun. Very impressive tactics. So yeah, the score is tied 1-1 right now. We're going off to game number 3. We'll see who wins this series, the quarterfinals from the Justin TV Invitational. I'll see you guys in game number 3.